Hey guys, it's Alex from Tech. How you doing? Today we are reviewing one of my favorite subjects, a Chromebook. This is the follow-up to the hot-selling ASUS Chromebook Flip. You can call it the Flip 2 if you want, even though ASUS doesn't really do that. The Flip 2, or the C101PA as it's known, has basically the same build and form factor as its predecessor, but this time around, they've included some guts that we're quite familiar with as well. Yes, what's inside is the OP1, an ARM processor we hung out with last year on the Samsung Chromebook Plus. The Flip 2 combines that with 4GB of RAM and 16GB of storage with micro SD card expansion. What that means for you is that although this is no Pixelbook, you should expect adequate performance doing your Chrome stuff and your Android stuff. Yes, this is one of those shiny new Chromebooks with the Google Play Store installed right out of the box. Chrome OS continues its integration as a 2-in-1 companion with periodic updates, and in this form factor, both aspects did not disappoint me. It can hang with my usage, which is kind of impressive actually. The typing experience is surprisingly comfortable. The keyboard layout is effective without significant compromises like that of the backspace key on the Chromebook Plus. The unbacklit keys have a shallow travel, but I really can't complain about it. It works great for this form factor. The same goes for the narrow trackpad. It's a tight rectangle that is pretty accurate and performs well enough for you not to find it as a detractor. It's a small body, so this is probably the biggest trackpad they could throw onto the Flip 2. Now, the display is a hit for me. While the colors are a bit dull and not as vibrant as I'd hoped for, this 16x10 1280x800p LED panel is still a win for Chromebooks. And the reason for that is because the Flip's display isn't worse than its other WXGA competitors. I found it quite enjoyable to watch videos and read comics on this 10.1-inch screen. The Flip doesn't get too bright even at max setting, and the glossiness affects the viewing angles at times. But the important thing to take away from this is that you won't mind looking at it. And if you have used an old cheap Chromebook with a sub 720p display in the past, you'll get what I mean. The touchscreen works great too. There is little lag, and combined with the OP1 processor, Android games seem to work really well here. For example, I could not get Lineage 2 to work properly on the Intel-powered Pixelbook. The touch input did not match the menu positions when I attempted it on the Pixelbook. Well, surprise, surprise, Lineage works perfectly fine here. That ARM optimization could really play a role in Android on Chrome OS. One thing I really dig about the Chromebook Flip is the portability aspect of this device. It really is the most portable Chromebook you can get out there. And what I mean by this is, for example, in the past, you have to bring a phone, obviously your smartphone, and a lot of us like tablets for the ease of holding it in one hand and reading a book, an ebook, or articles. And of course, you need your laptop. You need your laptop to get work done on a business trip, type up your PowerPoints or whatnot. And what this device has done here, and to an extent, all portable devices are starting to migrate towards. You look at the iPad Pro, you look at Microsoft Surfaces, there's a lot of 2-in-1 devices now that try to aim to merge those two fields together. And what Chrome OS is doing right now, especially in something like this, is I can leave my laptop for most business trips, and I can leave my tablet at home for the plane rides. I don't need that because this takes care of both of those aspects for me relatively well. This OP1 processor, we've used it before, we've used it on this, and it's been able to hold up most of the time. Now let's talk about the build for a bit. The Flip is 2 pounds of hardware encased in an aluminium chassis. It's a little bit thick with the lid enclosed, but when opened up in its natural laptop mode, you can see that it really isn't that fat. The hinge, however, is fat and stiff. Some may like that for durability reasons, some may not. I am one of the latter. Overall though, I do like the build quality, especially considering the $250 and oftentimes lower price point. It's built solidly, and although scratch prone, this aluminium should hold up for a few years. ASUS probably could have done a better job with the layout of the buttons and the ports. The power button and volume rockers are located on the left side, while all the ports including the 2 USB-C ones for charging are located on the other side. I'd rather have one USB-C on each side for convenience of charging and because it just doesn't look clean the way they have it laid out here. Speaking of charging, I think it's safe to say you can squeeze about 10 hours of battery life off of a charge. I streamed movies and played around with a lot of Android apps, and that was about my average. Not too shabby. The speakers are the last thing we'll talk about, and they're a bit disappointing. There are two bottom-firing speakers underneath the laptop. They're muffly and could use a lot more bass and treble. They really are just there for the sake of having audio come out, because there is no real substance behind the audio here. So the ASUS Chromebook Flip updated for the present. My verdict is that it is just as good, if not a better buy than its predecessor. You're paying $250 for a processor that was in a $450 competitor a year ago. That's a steal, seriously. And as I said, this $250 Chromebook was able to handle some apps that my $1,000 Chromebook could not. Chrome OS still has a lot of growing up to do, but it has a dream and a vision of how to accomplish that dream. And with every new update, every new Chromebook, it feels like we are getting closer and closer to realizing that perfect world where Chrome OS is a viable operating system for everyone.
If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit the bell button below so that you don't miss a single video in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!